Hey everybody, Ian back. Today is a tag video. I was tagged in the 20 Bookish Questions by John over at Hey Y'all Listen Up. Go check out that channel. I'll link it down below. So what we have here is 20 questions, I guess. So let's just get started. How many books? Number one. How many books is too many books in a book series? I don't think there really is a question, or at least in my opinion, as long as they're good and it keeps going, write as many as you want. I don't care. Like I'll still read them if they're still great. Some of my favorite, Eddie Chase, Nina Wild by Andy McDermott. I believe those are in the 14. I think that's 14 books. The Caitlin Strong novels by John Land, that series is going on, I think to 12, I believe. My favorite series of all time, Matthew Riley's Jack West Jr. series, is on number 7. That's gonna be 7 and done. So yeah. All right, number 2. How do you feel about cliffhangers? Now here is. John said cliffhangers are good. If it's in a trilogy, the second book, you can have a cliffhanger. Have no problem with that. What I do not like is when a book ends with a cliffhanger in the very first book, because that is, to me, that's just, oh, come at you now, you have to buy my second book to read. No, that's bullshit. No. The first book of a series should be a self-contained book, but it has hints that this could continue. A great example is Luke Skull's The Grimm Company. There's The Grimm Company is the first book, Dead Man's Sword is the second book, and I am what is that third book? I apologize, Mr. Skull, if you are watching. I will get it in a second. I think it's Dead Man's Steel, actually. Okay. Oh, Sword of the North is the second book, and Dead Man's Steel is the third book. Now, the Grimm Company, the first in that trilogy, wrapped everything up nice and tight for a first book, but it also left hints that it could continue. And then the second one and the third one were absolutely fantastic. Yeah, a first book should be self-contained, where you get a beginning, middle, and end. It should not just end in a cliffhanger, so you have to buy the second book, in my opinion. I think that's just a money grab scheme, and it doesn't happen. But again, I don't have any problem if it's leaving hints that this story can continue. And that's great. That's great. Just don't literally leave your character hanging off a cliff with nothing resolved. There should be some stuff resolved in the first book, and then maybe an overarching problem with all 3 books. That's fine. That's fine. All right. I lost my train of thought here. Number 3, hard copy or paperback. I prefer paperback. They are smaller usually. I can bring them around with me. Hardcovers are nicer. They last longer. They look better on the shelf. You don't have a lot of broken bindings because they're hardcover. But yeah, just lugging those things around. Especially when I was in college, I would always have a paperback with me. It was easy to haul around, so I could go from class to class and bring a book with me. The hardcovers were bigger and bulkier and took up more space, so I prefer paperbacks. Number 4, my favorite book. I have favorite series, but if we're going to go with my favorite standalone, I'm going to change this up. My favorite standalone book, because my favorite series are, John Gwynn's Faithful and the Fallen series, Brian Lee Durfee's 5 Warrior Angel series, Matthew Riley's Jack West Jr. series. Favorite series. I don't know if I can pick. I just don't know. especially with some of these series aren't completed yet. So we're going to wait and see. The Faithful and the Fallen series is completed. So I suppose right now that would be my favorite series of all time because it is completed. But if we're going standalone, Frederick Bachman, Beartown. This just hits closer to home with me. It's about, oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. I don't know why this is in here, because I took this with me on a trip, and I have a Sun Country Airlines napkin in here for some reason. I'm going to put that back for future Ian to find again, and bring back some memories from that trip. So, so Beartown, Frederick Bachman, hits close to home. It's basically about a hockey town, and there's something happens with one of the players. I don't know if it's. It just says a violent act has occurred involving one of their touted players, and just how the team. And it's a hockey town. This town revolves around this high school hockey team. So you've got some, it's interesting. Great book, the best book I've ever read. So give this a try if you're looking for a very good story. Frederick Bach, that is my favorite book, favorite standalone, I should say. What is my least favorite book? There was a book in high school called Acrobat, and I don't remember the author's name. I apologize, and I probably won't say it because in case the author does happen to watch and blah, blah, blah. It was touted as like a heist book, which I don't really care for anything the first time. But I was in high school. I was still figuring out what I like, what I don't like. So I got this book, High Hopes, read it, and it just was garbage. And I ended up, as soon as I finished it, I threw it in one of the school dumpsters. I remember saying, like, nobody else is going to read this drivel. So, yeah, I threw that book away. So I guess that. Love Triangles, yes or no? I don't really care about love triangles. I mean, you need a romance in the story, I guess, to move the plot along, maybe. But I don't read too many books with love triangles. I guess I don't really give a crap. All right, the most recent book you couldn't finish is number 7. That would be The Institute by Stephen King. It happened again. I keep on coming back, and I just requested Billy Summers, which is Stephen King's latest novel, from my library because it has more interesting premise. From where it's about a sniper and he's dealing with some stuff, so that's more along my lines, maybe. But yeah, The Institute. I got 200 pages in, and I fell overboard. I don't know why I can't get into Stephen King's works anymore. But we'll see if Billy Summers. I'm going to keep trying, I guess. Is that what the definition of insanity is? Is you keep trying and the outcome's going to be the same or something like that? And you just keep trying and keep trying. I'm going insane. 8, a book you're currently reading. Where'd it go? I am reading. Crap, the other one's up there. I'm not going to get up. Greg Hurwitz, The Prodigal Son. This is the 5th book in the Orphan X series by Greg Hurwitz. This is the latest, so looking forward to continue with this. And the other one I'm reading is called, it's Brian D. Anderson. Is it Brian B. or D? Brian D. Anderson. Or Brian B. Anderson, something like that. I apologize, Mr. Anderson. It is The Bard's Blade. First in a series. I believe it's going to be a trilogy. So those are the books I am reading. And then I should mention I am currently, and we'll talk about this later, currently still rereading Brian Lee Durfee's The Forgetting Moon in anticipation for that final novel to come out, which that could be my favorite series of all time right there if it sticks the landing there, which I have no doubt it will. 9. Last book you recommend to someone. Well, I mean, I gave a friend of mine that I work with, John Gwynn's Faithful and Fallen series, so he's reading that. But I suppose it is the last book I did recommend was The Forgetting Moon. Please start this and read this. I'm recommending it right now. this fantastic series. The first two are out. You got the Forgetting Moon and the Blackest Heart, which is back there. I'm rereading these in anticipation for the Lonesome Crown, which is supposedly coming out hopefully end of